right, welcome, guys. This is Breakfast with the Brand. I am your host, Junior Frederick, and you are now tuned in to the number one podcast in the world for entrepreneurs and leaders who want to go from bland to industry leading brand. If you are now tuned in, you already know what to do. Three things. Number one, put some flames in the chat. Number two, let us know where you're listening in from. And number three, of course, like, share, and subscribe. So, like, share, subscribe this post, subscribe this wherever you're looking. If it's on LinkedIn, if it's on YouTube, Facebook, wherever. Right. So, guys, we definitely appreciate you being here. We have a fire show for you today. And in fact, I want to ask everybody a question. Right. What is one thing that you are grateful for this morning? Put it in the chat. So, what is one thing that you're grateful for? Let's get those answers in. And while we wait for those to come through, I want to introduce the king of branding himself, Mr. Shan Raiz. So, Shan, when you're ready, let's come to the stage.
All right. All right. Phenomenal morning, guys. Listen, we are going to have an incredible introspective session for you today. Keyword, introspective, right? A lot of times we look externally for our success. We think tactically. What do I have to do? What and do, right? So the what and the do today, we're not going to be talking about the what and the do. We're going to be talking about the how and the who. Not the what and the do, but the how and the who. That's right. So get ready for it. If you do not have a pen, this is going to be one of those sessions where you're going to need one. So if you don't have one, get one. This is not for entertainment. This is going to help your business move forward. This session specifically is going to help your business move forward.
Nice. You know, Shan, I was literally just about to say that this sounds like one of those pen sessions, right? Sounds like it might end up being a big coaching session for
It, it,
everybody looking.
if there was a seatbelt, yeah, if there was a seatbelt, put it on today.
Super powerful. All right. So before we dive into that, I do want to say good morning to all of our lovely people tuning in. So I see we have Jackie Thompson. So phenomenal morning, Jackie. So Jackie is coming from Florida. Okay, I see we have Shade. Shade, good morning to you. All right, nice. I see who else is there? Michelle. Michelle, phenomenal morning. We have Coach B, phenomenal morning. We have Dr. Johnny Vaughn. All right, I hope I pronounced that correctly. So Johnny's from Minnesota. Phenomenal morning to you. Let's see. Dr. Michelle Vaughn. Okay. Dr. Johnny Vaughn,
Oh,
Dr.
let's
Michelle
go. A lot
Vaughn.
of
Phenomenal
Vaughns in the
morning.
building. Let's go.
Yes, yes. All right. So guys, listen, we definitely appreciate you being here again. Wherever you're looking from, hit the like button. Definitely comment, put your flames in the chat, and also share this with one other person who may need this information.
Shade said, when isn't it a pin session? Let's go. Let's go.
Very true, very true, very true. All right. So Shan, what's before we dive into that, let's tell us a little bit about, what's happening with you nowadays. I know
All
you've
right.
been on the
So
road
we're
as of
in
recently.
preparation,
Right.
right? We're in preparation for the B2B, right? The business to brand boot camp, Myrtle Beach mastermind that we're doing, right? And listen, one of the most serious undertakings of our career, right? Our business is live events, right? And speaking, as well as consulting from a platform, right? So I'm working the inside of event management, putting everything together, and I'm actually looking at the curriculum for the event. And during the curriculum for the event, it's like I was struck by a lightning bolt of self-awareness, right? A lightning bolt of self-awareness. And because when I think of professionals leaders, and just human beings, people in general, it's like, where do they begin to become successful? Because listen, this event is going to be a transformational one. We're going to literally take you from where you are to show you exactly what that looks like. So whether you want $1 million in profit or to impact 1 million people, one or the other, or both, you're going to find the recipe here. We're going to give you the blueprint to how we did exactly what we did, the way we did it, what the time sequences were, why we did it, how we did it, with what systems we used. So there's absolutely no way that you can't leave this event without $1 million in value. Absolutely impossible. And the first part of it, given my background, I have to help people know where they are. Because you can try to get where you're trying to get. I can buy a ticket, right? I can buy a ticket to California. If I'm ordering a plane ticket, funniest thing in the world. So I get a plane ticket, the destination is California. But the first thing that you have to put in there is where you are. What is your location? And most people don't know their true location, their true north. They really don't know where they're starting from because they don't want to look at that. They really don't want to look at where they really are or who they really are. They just say, I want to make $1 million. I want to go to Cali. I want to take the kids to Disney World. But this is all possible as long as we have an immediate understanding of where and who we are now. And that's where the gaps exist. The unrealistic perspective that's given towards where we truly are now. You won't be able to go forward. So if I put in California, if I put in one person, if I put in first class and try to press enter, the location where you're leaving from is going to light up red. And that's why a lot of people aren't getting where they're trying to go, because they know where they want to go. They know it's them who wants to get there. They know they want to go in first class and be perceived as luxury, but they don't want to put in their location because they don't want to really face their location or know what they're really dealing with and who they really are in the beginning. They want to get past that. And this session is going to be about how you cannot skip who you are.
Guys, listen, I'm not sure about you, but I have my pen locked, I have my book locked, and I'm ready. Mr. B, when you're ready, let's go to that break. We'll be back very soon.
I don't talk theory. I don't talk hyperbole. I don't talk opinion. Nothing I talk is anything but evidence-based.
During the G Circle retreat in Atlanta, I had the pleasure and the honor of listening to Mr. Sean Rais. He will not only impact your organization, but he will elevate your team to another level.
When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. I guarantee you, you got the right thing. You are the right person. If you can present yourself in the best way possible, there's no negotiation.
His energy is infectious, and I have so many takeaways from the presentation that I can't wait to get started and implement them today to see the result.
Who are your 3 top competitors? That's a real question. Who are your 3 top competitors? Promise you, they're not who you think they are. They're probably somebody that you like and love. That's cool. It's good. Dig into what they do. When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. The very top earners, I don't care what their denomination is, what their religion is, what their culture is, what their demographic is. They making your money. Some people on TikTok, I said man, woman, or child. There's 8-year billionaires on TikTok. See what they doing and duplicate the model.
All right, guys, welcome back. This is Breakfast with the Brand, the #1 podcast in the world for entrepreneurs and leaders who want to go from bland to industry leading brand. All right, so I hope you have your pens ready. All right, I hope you have your pens ready because we're about to jump into it. Sean, whenever you're ready, I'm ready. Let's grow.
Okay. So again, guys, just to give you a pre-frame of where we are and what we're doing, everybody knows where they want to go, but nobody really knows where they are. Everybody thinks they're doing When you speak to people, hey guy, hey, what's going on? Good morning. How you feeling? Oh, we say I'm phenomenal. And sometimes phenomenal becomes like a catchphrase. Or I feel great. It's a catchphrase. Or I feel good. I'm doing great. It's sometimes it's a catchphrase. And we're not really feeling the way that we say that we are. We're not really doing that. We're not really in a place where we can actually self-reflect and be aware of who we are and how we feel. Right? So a lot of times when you, especially when you're in an entrepreneurial group or you're around people that have a high level of self-worth and a high level of self-energy, sometimes it's almost like if you don't say I feel absolutely phenomenal, then you're less than. Right? So you're going to be perceived as less. If you're in a company culture where everybody's like great, good, boom, energy high, then you feel like you have to have your energy high. But sometimes your energy really isn't high. Sometimes you really not feeling it. Sometimes you're at a place where it's quiet desperation. And people say they live lives of quiet desperation. So that's really where it begins, like self-attunement, attunement into yourself. And self-awareness, which is the key component, one of the key components to leadership development. Self-awareness is really monitoring and discovering where you really exist on an energetic scale, where you really exist. Because honestly, if everybody was on 10, their results would be. I'm going to say that again. Because your life and your business is a reflection of who you are. So if everybody's energy was on 10, if everybody's outlook, if everybody's level of getting it done and their encouragement and inspiration and motivation was on 10, then their results would reflect that. So I want you to just take a moment to really self-assess and gauge, kind of like the tire pressure, right? Sometimes when you got to check the tire pressure, you got to put the little instrument in and it'll bust out to how much pressure there is, right? So I want you to put the tire tester, the pressure tester, to your self-awareness. And just put in the chat or write down for yourself. If you don't want to be 100, it's fine. Like I get it, right? Sometimes people don't want to share what the truth is, and that's okay. But if you can, be transparent and share with yourself at least where you really are on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you really in your energy level? Like, where are you really at? Don't give me hyperbole. Don't lie to yourself. See, this is the thing, guys. If we go to Delta, if we go to Delta Airlines and we book a flight, and we're really in New York, but we want to say we're in California because everybody wants to be in California. Everybody in California, all the ballers in California, all the people that are phenomenal and successful and famous are in California, right? So if you're in New York, but you want to be in California, it doesn't make a difference where you want to be. Because if you say, I want to go to Indiana, if Indiana is your destination, but you don't tell the truth and you lie to yourself, and because you lie to yourself, you lie to everyone else, and you say, I'm in California, you're going to miss the plane. You're going to miss the plane. And that's what a lot of people are doing. A lot of people are missing the plane because they're not being true to themselves. And they're saying they're in California when they're really in New York. So in California, they're waiting for you. But you're not there. So you never show up. And in New York, where you really are, your plane never shows up. Your plane never shows up because you got the destination, but you've misidentified the real location. Now, I know this might be over some people's heads. It might be a little bit, sometimes people want pop. Sometimes people want candy. Sometimes people want fluff. This is not that session. You might want to come to the next Breakfast with the Brand, because we're about to do business to brand boot camp. So everything is 10,000 times real right now. And if I don't help you, really, I harm you, really. Right? So really self-attune in for right now and just gauge yourself. Like, what's your location really? That's the first part. Where are you really at? Because that's how we're going to be able to tell. Okay, so let me give it to you this way. At this B2B business to brand boot camp, I'm going to ask people, what is your income level? And people who are making $50,000 are going to be given a specific assignment because of where they are. Other people are going to be given, if they say they're at $100,000, they're going to get a specific assignment based on where they are. If someone says I'm making $500,000 a year, they're going to have a different assignment than the person who's making $50,000 a year. But if the person who's making $50,000 a year says I'm making $500,000 a year, and I give them the instructions, it doesn't make a difference because they have misidentified their accurate location. They're not going to be able to use the information. So because a lot of people are misidentifying where they really are, they're not able to implement the information that is given. I'll give it to you one more way. And I'll give it to you in a fashion sense. There's a thing with Slim. Slim is in. Slim might be in. I don't know. But some people would, like, everything is a diet. I don't really see too many things about gaining weight. So everything is a diet plan. Everything is how to lose weight, how to slim and trim, how to lose 8 pounds in 8 days, right? So some people go into a store and they'll say, what size are you? If they're looking for a dress or something, what size are you? And everybody wants to be a 1 or a 2, but you're truly a 6 or a 7. And you say, give me a 3, give me a 2. And they give you a 2. And you're trying to squeeze into a 2, but you're a 4. Or you're trying to catch the California plane in New York and you're wondering why it's not working for you, and you're wondering why it's not coming for you. You're wondering why it's not happening for you, why it's not taking off for you, right? Accuracy, pinpoint accuracy parallels integrity. Accuracy parallels integrity. So don't just say, I'm feeling phenomenal if you're not feeling phenomenal, because then nobody's going to ask you if something's wrong. So a closed mouth can't be fed. Does that make sense? A closed mouth can't be fed.
Yeah, I mean that definitely makes sense to me. I mean, it's common sense. But you know, as much as it is common sense, I guess a lot of the times it's the emotions. Emotions always shroud common sense, right?
All the
So
time. We live in a
that's very
culture of
interesting.
comparison, Junior, especially in America. We live in a culture of comparison. That's one of those pin moments. We live in a culture of comparison. So instead of saying, I'm feeling off today, or my energy is down, you just show up and say, I'm phenomenal. You check in, and then your gaps are not accurately addressed. So if you come into the B2B, if you come into the business to brand boot camp, bring your real numbers. And when you show up on calls, bring your real self. Bring your authentic self and be honest. Be honest to thine own self be true. You can't grow if you don't know. You can't grow if you don't know. And if you're in the wrong location, you'll never catch the flight. If you misidentify your location, you'll never. It can be close, guys. It can be real close. So in New York, right? If you're doing the destination piece in New York or the location piece, they'll give you like 3 options. Sometimes they'll say New York airports. Listen to me very closely, guys. Listen to me real close on this. In New York, they'll give you an option: for the airport. They'll say New York locations, which mean three, or they'll give you LaGuardia, JFK, or EWR, which is New Jersey, right? So you got three options. They're very close, and people think they're the same thing. So when you when you identify where you are, if you're a 7, don't say you're an 8. If you're an 8, don't say you're a 9. And if you're a 9, don't say you're a 10. Because if I give you instructions based on a $50,000 income, but you're really at 100 or you're really at a 35, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. So you can be in JFK, and sometimes people do this in New York. Real talk. Like sometimes people be in JFK thinking that they're going to catch the plane and the plane is going to take off from there, but they're supposed to be in LaGuardia. They're supposed to be in LaGuardia, even though they're close. Close, write this down, guys. Close doesn't cut it. Close doesn't cut it. Pinpoint accuracy is what's required. And your authenticity and your accuracy equals your integrity.
All right, guys. So you heard that. So let's put a few numbers in the chat. What is your energy like? So put that in the chat. Remember, be 100% honest. Let's see who wants to be transparent today. I do see a few numbers, Shan. I see Dr. Vaughn. Dr. Vaughn wrote 7.
Okay.
Right. We have Michelle. So Michelle said, I fluctuate between 7 to 10 in any given moment. Rarely do I fall below that. Hold on. Jackie says 7 to 8.
I love this. This shows so much. This shows so much. Watch this. So, and listen, before you think I'm just talking with you, I have a master's degree in industrial and organizational psychology, right? So by trade, I'm a psychologist. It's not hyperbole. It's not hustle. It's not opinion. It's not Facebook. It's not YouTube. It's not entrepreneurship. This is a competency that I have. This is a competency that I worked 8 to 10 years to acquire. I am clinically able to diagnose and prescribe. Watch this. The 8 to 9s, 7s to 8s, and 7s to 10. If you're in, watch this. I just said it, guys. If you're in JFK, which is super close to LaGuardia, but your plane is leaving from LaGuardia, you're not going to get the plane. You're going to miss the flight. So when this question is given, so watch this, it's the same thing as a scale. And this is another thing that people aren't clear about. They get on a scale, and they're like, what do they say before they get on a scale? I'm about 180-ish, 150-ish. I'm 142. But when they get on the scale, they 147. Or maybe 152. So close doesn't cut it. So for my 7s to 8s and 8s to 9s and 7s to 10s, it's a different number. It's either or. In this case, it's not plus and. It has to be accurate. Because if the plane leaves, if the plane is taken off at 7:15, why do you think they tell you to be there 2 hours early? Right? They tell you to be there 2 hours early because when they board, they board. And if you're close to it, but you don't make it, then you won't make it. So you have to be 1000% accurate with this. And this is why it's so important. It's so important for us to really gauge. And I love this exercise because people are able to see, like, okay, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure where I'm at on this. I don't know what the feeling is. I feel like this, but I respond like this, or I respond like this, but my body isn't moving the same way. There's something called psychosomatic. Listen, guys, there's something called psychosomatic, where your body translates the energy. And if your body doesn't translate the energy that you psychologically think you should have, then you say 7, but you're really a 2. And when people come around you, the frequency that they feel is confusion. The frequency, the energy that they feel is unalignment. Your conviction, your ability to follow through on what you know to be true, your physical ability, you know you should be going live 5 times a day. That's great. Psychologically, energetically, you don't feel it. So you don't do it. So your business never gets the results. You don't get the leads. You don't get people on your calendar, and you're wondering why, because psychologically, you know you should be doing this, but energetically, you're just not feeling it.
That's so interesting. You know, it sounds like such a simple concept. Like such a simple concept, but I guess
And you know, Junior, let me
not
tell
so
you,
simple,
let me
huh?
tell you why we're doing this. Let me tell you why we're doing this. Thank you. See, Jackie just claimed a 7. Let's go. Let's go. This is what it's about. It's about being solid on it. You got to stand on a number, not 2 or 3. Because listen, guys, if people come and get their requirements, their prescription, their next moves, their next 5 to go from a 6-figure to a 7-figure income, we know it works. We know it works. We know the plane gonna be there, taking off at 10 a.m. from LaGuardia. If you show up to JFK, if you misidentify yourself and you say that I'm in Jersey when you in New York, or you in New York when you in New Jersey, and you at the EW because they look the same, they're similar. They look the same. They're similar, and it can be elusive. It can be misleading. Sometimes you're in a pack. Sometimes you're around people who feel a certain kind of way, and because they feel a certain kind of way, you think you feel a certain kind of way. You ever had that happen where there's a group of people doing something and you was with the group, but you didn't feel the same energy? You might have went along with what they were doing, but you weren't in agreement with it, and you just did it because you were there. Those situations don't usually turn out good for you. Those situations usually don't turn out for you. You know how they say it's the good one that always catches the bad side of the stick, or the bad situation? They'll be in the crowd of the wrong people, and their mother will be like, my son was a good son. He didn't deserve it. I didn't know what he was doing with these people. Those people always get away with it. Those people always get away with it. It's the one that's not in alignment. It's the one that's not congruent. It's the one who knows they got this inner voice that tells them they should be somewhere else doing something else, that gets caught and penalized and convicted for something they really wasn't in agreement with. So the first step, guys, the first step to success in life and in business and in relationships is being authentic, having integrity, and having self-discovery down to a T, where you can self-identify and be honest and know it and own it. Where am I? Because only when you know where you are will you ever be able to go anywhere. It doesn't make a difference if you're trying to go from New York to New Jersey, if you're trying to go to Philly, if you're trying to go to California, if you're trying to go to Dubai. It doesn't make a difference. If you cannot self-identify accurately, you'll never get anywhere you're trying to go in your life, in your business, in relationships, in your health. Let's go to a break, Mr. B. Thank you, sir.
Nikki Miller, and I was really drawn to Sean's personality from the moment that I did the Branding Like a Leader challenge. This was the free challenge that he offered. And I'm so glad that he offered it because I joined the class and I was blown away. First of all, by his giving personality. For me, it was the personality that really drew me in. But then as he was sharing his wealth of knowledge, I realized that there was so much that I didn't know. I already knew there was a lot I didn't know, but there was so much that I didn't know. And he was just freely giving this information. It was evident that he really wanted to help people. And as somebody who likes to help people, I connected with that. And then I was able to connect not only with Sean, but then with his team, with Junior and with Jason, Mr. B, and just the entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond. One day, something had come up, and Junior he texted me just to see how I was doing, and that really touched my heart. So that relational piece is there. So if you were having any doubts about what Mr. Sean Rice and his team with the brand can offer you, let me let you know. It is a treat and it is a joy, and you will not be disappointed.
Design your programs around their demands and their requirements. And if you want a higher paying client, design your copy different. This is marketing. So watch this. Instead of saying, I can help you start your coaching business, I say this: I can help you take your 6-figure coaching business to a 7-figure coaching business. You know what I just did? And this comes with branding, guys. It comes with your personality and your personal branding and your stance on authenticity marketing. You attract your ideal client and you push away the unideal client.
All right, that's some very powerful stuff there. What you just saw in the ad about the copywriting, pushing the client, attracting the ideal one. Guys, we are back, and this is a special session here on energy, right? So, Shan, I do see some other numbers in the chat that I do want to bring up.
Come on.
All right, so I see Michelle says right now she's at an 8, right? So Shade, an 8. And we do have a few other numbers. Let's see. In fact, we have a question. Let's answer this question. So somebody's asking, do you work with people that's starting at the bottom?
Of course we do. That course is called Branded Like a Leader. I actually put that in the chat, right? That program is called Branded Like a Leader, right? Where we help people who begin. When I say begin, I mean begin. No LLC, no vision, value statement, no idea what they're really doing, no idea who they really are, no idea who they really serve, no idea what the ideal market looks like, no idea how to leverage social media into business media, no idea what to do with the way they look and their attire and how it matches their desire and color psychology. We started out with a beginning level entrepreneur and Branded Like a Leader. So that's the answer to that question. Yes.
All right, nice. So let's get back to the regular programming today, right? So today we're talking. In fact, we're doing introspection today, and we started with the energy, and we were just talking about how it's so important to identify, how will you call it, Shan? Your energetic location. I'm gonna use that phrase, your energetic location. So this means, where are you energetically, right? When you're moving in and getting into business and just life in general, right? It's not only about business, it's also about life in general. Just being honest with who you're being right now and where you want to be. That's my vision of it, right? So who are you being and who do you want to become, or who do you want to be? It's always
That's
great to
great.
make an
That's,
assessment of.
that's really good, right? Because the second part of that, right? Once you know, once you know where you really are in your energy. So on a plane, unless you're in a one-seater, you've got someone next to you. You've got someone next to you. And this is the problem. A lot of us have people next to us that are distracting, that are not doing their part. You are trying to become who you need to be. This is why I'm having the B2B in Myrtle Beach, guys. This is why I'm taking people out of their house. Because sometimes when you get on a Zoom call, people show up. Let me see if I can even do this, right? Sometimes when you come on to no, I don't know if I can do it. Can I hit the camera? Okay, so on a Zoom, right? Sometimes people don't show up on camera because there's things going on in the background that are distracting them from being their best self. So the reason why we're taking people out of their environment, bringing people out of their homes are because there's sometimes people, elements, energy in your environment that are not conducive to your success. It's called self-sabotage. It's called self-sabotage. And in where I come from in Harlem, or in any kind of situation, you don't get into cars with people. Because sometimes there might be something in the car that'll get you in trouble. And they won't tell you because they don't care. This is who they are. This is who they are. This is what they do. So I want you to think about it. When you're in a business situation, when you're in a relationship, when you're in a cohabitation situation where you have to rely on the person next to you, is that person right for you? So we're going to use the plane analogy again. Sometimes in like row 12 or row 16, depending on what kind of plane you're on and the size of it, there's planes that have the exits. Emergency exits. And if you're sitting there, the pilot comes by and says, not the pilot, but the Junior,
The co-pilot.
No, not the co-pilot.
Or you mean the hostess?
The stewardess will come by. The
Right,
stewardess will come by. The customer service will come by, and they'll say, "Do you agree that in the event of an emergency, you're qualified, able, and willing?" Write those words down, guys. Write those words down. Qualified, able, and willing to assist in the evacuation of this plane should something happen. Now, you can be sitting there and say, yes, 100%. And the person sitting next to you can say, yes, 100%. And the person next to them can say, yes, 100%. Guys, you got people around you saying, yes, 100%, but they not 50 cents. They not even 5 cents. They saying, yes, 100%, but they not even on the plane. You guys are trying to go somewhere in your life and in your business and in your relationship. But the who, the people, the energy, the who you have next to you is driving in a different direction. You're wondering why you're not making it forward. You're wondering why you're not being consistent. You're wondering why you're not really making any lasting traction. Write that word down. Lasting traction. And the reason is because when you take 3 steps forward, the people you have in your circle take you 2 steps back. Anytime you try to move 5 steps forward, the people you have in your circle bring you 4 steps back, 10 steps back, and you end up stuck. So somebody says something. Watch this. Watch this, guys. Somebody just said it. Somebody just said it. Here we go. Started a year ago. Just never got the clients. Really, they come and go. So you take 2 steps forward, and for whatever reason, your business takes 2 steps back. You take 1 step forward, your business takes 2 steps back. Now, this person, I don't know who it is because it's coming up as Facebook user. So put your name in the chat if you want me to mention you and know who you are, right? But this is the thing. You in your business are trying to acquire or gain lasting traction. But the team, the people around you, whether it's your family, your friends, your business partners, or your team, sometimes it's yourself. If you don't have the energy right, if you're not given the right location, then that's what the problem is. You're fighting against yourself. You're incongruent. You're not in alignment. But now we've passed that, right? Everybody gave a number, so now we're past that. Now, if you don't have the right team, you'll never go from 5 to 6 figures. If you don't have the right team, you'll never go from 50 to 100,000. If you don't have the right team, it starts with you. You got to be the right person. But once you say, yes, I'm willing to help, I'm equipped, able, and willing, you have to find other people that are qualified, able, and willing.
There we go. And so the user's name is Shayola. So this is from Shayola, Shan. They put a name there.
Okay, very good. So, Shayola, your problem, why you're not moving forward, if it's not a you thing, then it's a true thing, right? If you're really you and you're really authentic, if you might need to do some internal work. If you don't need to do we always need to do internal work. Personal and professional development are intertwined and they never stop. So you always have to be doing the you work. But if you're doing the you work consistently and you know it, and your business still isn't moving, then it's a who's around you work that you have to work on, right? Sometimes we have to start with us. We always have to start with us. What are we doing? Who are we? Are we really in alignment? Where are we really at? Are we trying to leave from New Jersey when we're really in New York? Are we misidentifying? But once you get to that level, so write this down, guys, misidentifying and demystifying. Misidentifying and demystifying. So a lot of people don't know why their stuff doesn't work. They're like, I don't know what I'm not doing right. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. So misidentifying and demystifying is the same thing. Or once you stop misidentifying, you'll remove the smoke and mirrors. If it's very confusing for you and you're doing everything that I might say to do or someone else who's successful might say to do, and it's still not working, you need to stop misidentifying where you really are. Because once you identify where you really are, then you can say, hey, coach, this is where I'm at. You can come to the B2B and say, hey, Sean, this is where my business is. And then I can give you the exact escape route to get from there to the next level. But if you misidentify, then I'm giving you someone else's instruction.
Yeah, and the other thing about that, Shan, while you were speaking, I was just thinking that most people they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. And sometimes having a team, especially for somebody who's starting up, most people starting up, they don't necessarily have a budget. Like, a lot of people believe they need a budget, right, to get a team. But a lot of people they don't necessarily have a budget. And they're really trying to do this and try to figure this out on their own. But having a coach, that's part of your team. Somebody who has been there before and somebody who has gone that route before and could help compress that time and give you the speed and all of those specific points, specific guidelines that you need. And if your coach is good, as long as you follow the playbook, then you should get the results to grow and to expand, as we have seen multiple times from many of our clients. So just wanted to put that in there as well.
Oh, let me just put the qualifier up there. You can know if your coach is good because they're getting the results that you're looking for. That's how you know, right? So when you get on a plane, most times the pilot will already be there, or the pilot will be coming from another plane there. They stay in the sky. So you can't even be a commercial pilot unless you have a certain amount of thousands and hundreds of thousands and tens of thousands of hours sky time. That's someone who's doing the work, someone who's actively engaged in the business. You don't want someone who's not actively engaged in the business, who's selling the thing they're not doing, right? So when it comes to qualifications, you want someone who's actively involved and actively in the engagement of that which you want to do. Why would you go to a botanist to learn mechanical? And why would you go to a mechanical engineer to learn painting? It doesn't make sense. You go to someone who's actually in the engagement of that which you want to do. So again, guys, if you know the alignment of the internal, if you know, now a lot of us don't have clarity on this, so you got to do the inside work. But once you got the inside work and you're consistently engaged in the inside work and it's still not working, then it's time to start looking around you, because somebody there who says they're qualified, able, and willing is not qualified, may not be able, or they may not be willing. And when you allow that to when you allow that to stay there, this is the thing, guys, watch this. All of you know, deep inside, right? This is the back to the inside part. This is the internal part again. Deep inside, all of you know who you have around you that's pulling against your momentum. All of you know, you feel it. You have a sense of, I don't know if this person's really with me. If you have to guess that, they're not. Your own intuition, write this down, right? This is the last pin moment before we go to a break. Your own intuition is the best prescription.
Let's go to that break, Mr. B.
Five W framework. If you want to take your money to the next level, you got to reevaluate some things. It's not doing something different. It's doing something better. So the first W, who? Simple. Who do you do what you do for? What do you really do? Where do you do it? When do you do it for your ideal client in their lifetime? For God's sakes, why do you do what you do, man? pen's less than $10. One pen, almost $2,000. When people come to me, I always say, what is your number? And when they say 500, I say, let's put a zero behind it. And then figure out the packaging, figure out the presentation, figure out the place where you're going to present it, and figure out the people that you're going to give it to. Because I guarantee you, you got the right thing. You are the right person. But in those 5 P's, brother, presentation, packaging, place, people, price. They will pay the price because they have paid the price and they are paying the price. Now the question is, are you getting the price?
All right, guys, welcome back. I just want to say that was really nice. The way Shan just said that, are you getting the price? That was really nice. Listen, guys, if you've enjoyed the show so far, put some flames in the chat. Whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you're viewing this from, let's put some flames in the chat. We are moving into the last segment. And really and truly, it does feel like we haven't been here this long for some reason. Right, Shan? It feels like we just started the show. Like
Definitely.
I feel like we just
Definitely.
started and it's already the top of the hour. I'm like, what just happened? So yeah.
I call it the value vacuum. I call it the vacuum of value. So when you're in the room of true value, you don't get tired, right? And before you know it, it's over. Before you know it, it's over. And again, that's why, like, when it comes to everything that we do, I always say bring a pen, try to catch the energy in the air, try to catch the air in the energy, try to catch the opportunity of a lifetime in the lifetime of the opportunity. Guys, try to catch the opportunity of a lifetime in the lifetime of the opportunity. I was just going back and forth with someone on LinkedIn, literally during the commercial, right, about how and why it's so imperative that you get out of your comfort zone. And sometimes your comfort zone and your mental code is your zip code. Sometimes your procrastination is based on your location. And the reason why you're not moving, sometimes the reason why you're not moving is because you're not moving. I'm just being realistic. I'm not trying to play on words, but sometimes the reason why you're not moving is because you're not moving. I say this a lot of times, and you'll hear me say it again, and you probably heard me say it before. Money follows movement. You have to move. You have to get in the room. You have to move and shake. I've been waiting to get people in the room for the last 3 years, since the beginning of COVID. And I've been working hard to consolidate people, human resources in the same room so that they can feed off of each other energy and be able to make a quantum leap, not incremental growth. Not incremental growth, exponential growth. And not move forward inch by inch, because sometimes the inches are self-defeating. Sometimes the slow pace makes a person go to sleep. It's not moving fast enough. I get it. Trust me. As a super high D person that wants to go from 0 to 100 immediately, nobody gets it more than me. Very impatient when it comes to waiting for something that we know can get done within the next. It should already be done. How many of you know that your business growth, like your next level, is something you should have already done? Put it in the chat. How many of you really know accurately that your next level should have already been done? Your next level in business, you need to hit 6 figures in business, $10,000 a month. You should have been there last year, 2 years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago, realistically, right? Okay. It hasn't happened because you haven't moved yet. It hasn't happened because you're in the same place. It hasn't happened because you're not getting out of the zip code. Your mental code is tapped into your zip code. When we go on vacations and we go sit on the beach and we go look at the waters, trust me, I do the same thing, and I was guilty of the same thing. Small lapses of luxury Write that down. Small lapses like a mental lapse of luxury, as opposed to the being in the right environment that's going to make the lapse of luxury permanent. Not a lapse, but a lifestyle. You got to get out of the way we're trained, guys. The way we are trained is to take a 2-week vacation after 50 weeks of work. How would you like to flip that and have your whole life be a vacation based on the quality of work that you want to do, so it feels like it's no work and your whole life is a vacation? In order to make that, that's a quantum leap. You see, that's a quantum leap. Watch this. That's a quantum leap. When you could take that mind frame and flip it over. Flip it over. That's what we're going to do at the B2B. That's what we're going to do in Myrtle Beach. That's why it's urgent for you to get out of your house, get out of the bed, get out of the familiar surroundings, because sometimes our familiar surroundings become trap-offs, and they become our familiar trappings. I don't want to go so deep into this because we'll be here for 5 more hours. We'll be here for 5 more hours, and it'll go from an hour-long piece to a 6-hour-long webinar, and then it might turn into a weekend. But that's what's going to happen at the B2B, Business to Brand Bootcamp. And I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm trying to tell you something. Whether you do it with me, hey, that's up to you. But do it with me or not, you're still going to have to do it. You're still going to have to do it. You're still going to have to do it. Why not do it now? Why not do it right now? Why not take that action? Remember, seize the opportunity of a lifetime and the lifetime of the opportunity. Stop playing games with it. If it feels hot, if you feel heat, if you feel the urgency to move, make your move. Make your move. Stop playing with it. Because I promise you, time waits for no man or woman. Time waits for no man or woman. I just went back to Harlem. Last weekend. I was in Harlem, where I came from, guys. And I saw some people that I grew up with in the same place. Mm-hmm. And this is what I'm going to tell you. And I want you to take it so seriously, because it really is life and death. We don't think it, and we don't have the sense of urgency. We're like, oh, I've always got tomorrow. I've always got tomorrow. I've always got tomorrow. Anne Hesh doesn't have tomorrow. Anne Hesh doesn't have tomorrow. She thought she had tomorrow to do some things that would have been conducive, that would have kept her here longer. I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it tomorrow. Listen, tomorrow is not promised for every one of us. I went to sleep. One night. I was 16 years old. It's a true story. And this is what some of you are doing in your business. I went to sleep at around 16 years old. I took a nap. I woke up, I was 36, and nothing had changed. I'm going to say that one more time because it's so serious. This is my life. This is my story. This is my truth. I went to sleep at 16. I woke up at 36, and the only thing that had changed was I had children. But nothing had changed. On the inside, I was still a kid who was 16. My life was a mess. My finances were upside down. My education level had not moved. You have an option. You have a question. If you're here this time, if you're here at this time, you have an option, you have a choice, you have an opportunity. Will you enter next month will you enter September? Will you enter the last quarter of this year the way you entered the first quarter of this year? Or will this quarter be the best quarter you've ever had in your life? And will this quarter set you up for 2023? It will if you're at the B2B Business to Brand Bootcamp. Either way, do the internal work on you, and then do the external work. Look around you and work on who. Let's grow. Guys, we're about to have so much fun at the Business to Brand Bootcamp, B2B. Listen, I know you got the LLC, the 501c3, the S Corp, the C Corp, and you're like, well, what do I do with this now, Sean? What do I do now? The empty business bank account, the business bank account with a couple zeros in it. What do I do with this now? You turn the business into a brand, right? You go B2B. Business to brand. We're going to show you exactly how to do that at the Business to Brand Bootcamp, right? But we're going from hybrid, right? We're going from online to inline. I want you to align on time. So we're going from online, in time, and inline. We're bringing you to Myrtle Beach, guys. Myrtle Beach. That's right. Sun and fun and sand with the brand. 3 days. 3 days in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina with yours truly, Sean Rais. We're going to show you the fundamental basics, and then we're going to explode the fundamental basics into exponential brand development. So we're going to take you from B to B, Business to Brand Bootcamp. If you know how we started, guys. Listen, if you know how we started from the crickets to digits in the midst of the pandemic, when there was absolutely no movement, absolutely no flying, absolutely no in-person events. Guys, listen, that is over now. What you're going to do, what you're going to be able to do is sit with me in the same room. I promise you, it's so much different. It's so much different when we're in person, and I can show you the 5W framework. I can show you how to build your hashtag WON, put the world on notice, right? Show you how to change your attire to match your desire in the same room for 3 days, guys. 3 days with yours truly, Sean Rais. The entire brand team is going to be there. We are ready for you. We are ready to receive you in Myrtle Beach for 3 days of sun and fun and sand with the brand at the B2B Business to Brand Bootcamp. Let's grow.